Albuquerque, New Mexico, the high desert. It is a glorious spring day, 68 degrees, blue skies from horizon to horizon. A perfect day for a hike and an adventure. So I grabbed my adventure mates, Buster, Lucy, and Skeeter. Now, Chinese pugs aren't known for their durability, but they got heart. So they're companions of the first order. So we went out to the West Mesa, the high desert west of Albuquerque, where the volcanoes are. And though they don't do long-distance hikes well, we walked their butts off that day. Mine too. We got far out, and I realized they were running out of steam. So I decided we'd take a break. I found an old, gnarled juniper tree, the kind that just has extraordinary character and some shade, because it may have been 68 degrees, but the sun at 5,000 feet above sea level will take it out of you. So we curled up under the tree. I fed the dogs, the pugs, biscuits. We drank some water. I had some granola. And of course, when you feed a pug, they fall asleep and start snoring. I thought that seemed like a pretty good idea, so I curled up too. I don't know how long I slept. No idea. I do know that in that slumber I began to hear a very faint chanting noise. And I thought it was just a daydream. I continued to try and sleep through it, but it continued. So I pulled myself up, shook myself awake, and to my surprise, that chanting noise was coming from Buster, my pug. He was sitting in perfect lotus position with his legs crossed, upright, his paws like this. He'd do this if he could have, but he couldn't. His eyes were closed, and Skeeter and Lucy were staring at him intently because I realized he's surrounded in an aura of light. And I shook my head again because I couldn't believe this. I'm sure you can't either, but there he was. It was then that Buster opened his eyes and leveled a gaze straight at me. And then I heard him speak. His jowls didn't move, but I could hear his voice. Ron, I've been with you across many lifetimes, generations. When first I met you, you were an evil, vile man, a man who stole and even murdered others. I was the mongrel that stood at your feet, and you would spit upon me and kick me. But every now and again, you would show kindness to me, and I could see there was a spark of decency within you. And so I stayed while you went about your thieving and conniving. Now, at this point, I have to tell you, I was very skeptical. But it was right before my eyes. And we know that seeing is believing, so I went right back to watching. Buster continued. Inevitably, as happens to men like you were, the moment came when some of your so-called friends slit your throat. And as you died in a pool of your own life's blood, as the embers of life died in your eyes, I made a vow that I would be with you for as long as it took for you to become a decent man. You probably remember in this life that I am the fifth small dog in your life. Each was me, my friend. And at this point, I was blown away, because that was exactly right. I had had 5 small dogs, all male, all my best companion, and I got it. He's telling me the truth. He continued. I can see now that finally you have become the man you had it in you to be, and my work is done. You see, God put dogs on the earth and changed the order of the words to fool you. He blessed me with a motion of his paw, and then I heard him say his last words. So it is, and so it shall be. And I blinked, and everything returned to normal, at least as normal as it could be under those circumstances. But all 3 dogs were on their butts, looking directly at me, as if they knew. And perhaps they did. Now, if you were to go walking on the West Mesa, the high desert outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico, and found a large twisted juniper tree and looked beneath it, you would find an image such as this etched into a granite slab, and on it would say, "So it is, and so it shall be."